Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So we are going to do a versus video. This is a Tudor Pelagos 39 mil compared to a Rolex Submariner No Date Sub 14060M with the engraved rehaut. So this is a 2010 model. This is a brand new Pelagos 39. So let's do some comparison here. This one from let's just look at them. I want to get the dimensions out of the way after that. I even brought my caliper out. That way we can compare them. They have the Pelagos listed as a 39 mil, and of course the Submariner as a 40. So let's take some measurements. So let's get the caliper out. And let's see here, zeroed. Yep. Let's see if I can zoom in, because I think I need to zoom here. Let's see. Let's do side to side. Let's see. Yeah, 39. Gee, almost. Yeah, 39 pretty much. 39 and a half. So real close there. So let's do a tip to tip. This is hard to do on camera. Really difficult. 46.7 tip to tip. And then thickness, this is where I think it really differs. Yeah, 11.8. And then we do have 21 millimeter lug spacing, I believe. Let's see, let's do this way. It's a little tricky on camera. Yeah, about 21 for the lug spacing. So let's do the Rolex real quick. So the Rolex, we already know it's a 20 mil lug opening, so we're not gonna mess with that. But let's do the side to side. This thing kind of wears smaller than what they say, a 40. So I doubt. See, it's a 39. So in fact, it's a little smaller than the 39 Pelagos, so not a 40. And then our tip to tip on this, 47.2. So pretty close to the same. And I think this is where it's really going to differ. Yeah, look at that. So for whatever reason, 12.1. Whatever reason, the thickness of the Pelagos 39 is thinner. And I can't see it, because if you look, I think what it is the case back. That's kind of where I think it really comes from. So if you look at the case back of the Rolex, it sticks out a little bit further. The Pelagos is recessed in more. I guess it's thinner. So the mid case of the Rolex is thinner than the Pelagos. The Pelagos 39 has a thicker mid case, and you can obviously see that real easy. The bezel is a little thicker on the Pelagos, and the sapphire crystal on the Pelagos looks like it's flush with the bezel, as of the Submariner looks like it sticks up a little bit. You do have drilled lugs on the Rolex. You don't have drill lugs on the Pelagos. The bezel, the crown action, got a really nice pop, which I love on the Rolex, always have. And then you have a giant tube seal. Very, very just tough. And then you have a big old O-ring there. So, and it winds real nice, easy. And then of course, tightens up. No problem. Real easy operation. So the Tudor, it has the same pop. So if we do that pop, and then you have that same tube seal. Looks like the crown tube and seal and everything looks actually identical really to the Rolex. So I think that's just amazing. You do have pointed crown guards on this, which harkens back to the old Submariners and, Tudor and Rolex subs back in the day. Just like the older ones, but on the 14060 here M, this is more like the old 5513s. I know there were some pointed crown guard 5513s and 5512s, but that was back in the 60s, late 60s. So, but this is a little more rounded. But this case on the Rolex is definitely thinner, much thinner. So the movements, let's do the movements real fast. 3130. This one actually has the blue hairspring in it, and I have pictures of that. I need to do a video on that as well, but it does have, because this is a 2010 model with an engraved rehaut. So it does have the blue silicone hairspring in there, which is anti-magnetic. This one here has the silicone hairspring as well, but it's like a black silicone hairspring. Something that Tudor uses, and it's also 70-hour power reserve. It does have a full balance bridge. This Rolex has a full balance bridge, but does not have a 70-hour power reserve. It's got a 50. So still 50 for me, that's 2 days. That's more than enough, but I do like the 70. I think that's great. And you know, even the newer Submariner that has a 70-hour power reserve as well. So I mean, it's you know, it's the new thing. So chamfers. These chamfers on this watch really harken back to the old Rolex Submariners back in the day. This one doesn't have much for chamfers. You can kind of see one. It's not very prominent there. So, and it just depends on what era Submariner you get. The newer ones, the newer they are, the less, you know, they start to do away with it. In fact, the new ones have no chamfers whatsoever, except for the new Yachtmaster, which has chamfers, and I think that's amazing, and it's fully titanium. Seeing that is just awesome. I hope that they introduce that in all the Rolex watches, to have chamfers again. I think that would be just great. But of course, the Submariner, very similar bracelet, except for you got steel and then you got titanium over here. Very similar. This is a 20 mil. It does have hollow links though, and hollow end links, but I do like how they have this female bracelet end link where it just goes straight down, and it gives it a really nice taper on the wrist. Very nice and very comfortable as well. And then you taper all the way down. This one's 21. I think this tapers down to, I want to say 18, but I may be wrong. This one tapers down to 16. So it tapers all the way down to 16, which I thought it was 18. So I'm a little wrong there, but 15. So the Rolex tapers a little bit more. So the bracelet, I mean the clasp, you do have the new school, you know, very nice. I mean, you can't compare the two. This is fully milled. You got that T-fit adjustment. You have a diver's extension. Everything is really nice on the Tudor. I mean, this is, you know, top notch. Screw-in links. Of course, this is lacking that because this is from 2010 and it's built like the old school ones, which I actually really like. Snaps into place. You get a little bit of rattle, some jingly and jangly stuff going on, but I actually like it. I like vintage Rolex. I like older Rolex, so it works really well for me. On the wrist, 7.5 inch wrist. It wears very nice. So this isn't a 40 mil, which everyone says it is. It's a 39. It's definitely a 39 mil because we measured. And let's put the Tudor on my 7.5 inch wrist. See how that wears. Then we'll get them both out in the sunlight, and then we will do a lume shot at the end. But here it is. It's not sized to me. This is a watch available at CW Watch Shop. By the time me showing you this video, it might already be sold because I know these are very popular. But here it is on my 7.5 inch wrist. Fits amazing. It's just the perfect fitting watch. It really is. So what we've pretty much discovered already is that the pelagos here is thinner than the Submariner, and the width, this is actually a little bigger than the Submariner. So that is what we have figured out so far, and tip to tip it's about the same. So both very cool though. Let's get them out in the sunlight and see how they are out in the sunlight here. And both, I mean, just gorgeous watches. I don't want them to bang together, so I'm trying to be very careful. But I mean, very similar design. I'm sure the Tudor Pelagos, when they designed it, they took a lot of cues from the No Date Submariner. Very similar bracelet, very similar, you know, end-link design. You do have the 10 on the bezel on the Submariner, and you don't have that on the Pelagos. but you could just see how the sub looks thinner, but it's not. And that's because of the case back is taller. But you can look at the mid case on that Pelagos, and it's definitely thicker. I loved how pronounced these chamfers are on the Pelagos. Honestly, more pronounced, I mean, they're huge bevels, and they're bigger than even on the old school subs, Tudor and Rolex. So they're really exaggerated, but I like that. I think it's a real nice touch. It looks just amazing. But they're both amazing watches. I mean, if you want a Rolex Submariner, but you don't want to get on that waiting list, if you could even get on the waiting list, just buy a Pelagos 39. If I didn't have this, and this came across my hands here, I would definitely just jump on the Pelagos. I really love the Pelagos. It's definitely on my list. It's something else to get later on, but they can both exist in a collection, that's for sure, because they are different. But anyway, let's end with a lume shot. Something that I did not do, and I wanted to show it real quick, is the bezel action. So on the 39, we have a 60 click. Very nice action, snaps right into place. I love the Tudor bezels, the bezel action, I really do. Amazing. No back play. I mean, locked in, very nice. Let's do the Rolex real quick. Just so you know, my neighbors are in their swimming pool, so they're making a little bit of noise, but it's okay. So here's a 120 click. You can hear that. I actually like this over the Tudor, but I will say that they're both amazing. They really are. The lume shot. So both very bright, evenly applied, very potent. Of course, you have a lume bezel insert on the Pelagos, which I really like. Not on this vintage sub. And, not even on the new subs either, so they don't have that yet. But I really do like that on the Pelagos. I mean, it's a straight-up tool watch all the way through and through. Something I just noticed also is it looks like the dial is slightly bigger on the Pelagos 39 than it is on the Submariner. So that's another thing. So there's a lot of differences, but they do have a lot of similarities as well. But both amazing watches. So I'm super happy you guys stayed tuned, watched throughout the entire video here. This Pelagos is available at CW Watch Shop. I will have a link in the description below to their website. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you. Bye-bye.